Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back again to the Dream League Season 13. We're hopping right into this one. It is game number 3 of Navi versus Evil Geniuses. Can't freaking wait for this one to start. And man, oh man, we've had like a very big departure across the field as far as playstyles go from Navi. The tiny disruptor last game felt like it was exactly what they needed. EG keeps on last pick and Ricky for Arteezy, which I love. Hope it keeps doing it. Andy, you have a good break? You have a nice little break while we were waiting for the game to start?
Yeah, I got some coffee, got up, walked around a little bit, pet the dogs, all the good stuff.
Nice. That's pretty solid. I ate the jalapeno poppers that I made for myself before game number 1. Felt
Oh,
very
yeah, that's
happy
right. You
about
haven't
that.
slept yet, right?
No, I'm still awake.
Okay. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Lyrical is the madman, just staying up all night. But I guess you woke up pretty late yesterday, so.
Yeah, I woke up at like 4 p.m., so it's all good. It's the way you're supposed to do it. I mean, probably not actually. It's the way you're not supposed to do it, but that's where we are. Doom taken for EG. This is the hero that was all over the minor, it felt like. Was getting around in the first phase, and we're getting to see him again. How do you feel about the old Doomster?
Still pretty strong. He obviously received. Wait, was the Scorched Earth nerf after the minor? I think it was.
5 seconds.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, either way, it was I think 5 damage off of every single rank, so a slight nerf. Hero's laning phase is still pretty okay. Still suffers against the same heroes like your Ursas, Monkey Kings, stuff like that. Anything that's going to be, really good at just attacking and bullying them off the wave levels 1 to 3 are potentially heroes you want to look for. Ranged heroes as well, like Drow Ranger, really good against him because he's a little base armor and you kind of have to like walk up to be able to cast your spells. But overall, he's still fine. Still gets a lot of gold. Maxing your W is still fantastic. Lots of damage, mobility. You kind of just run at people. But Navi going for the disruptor again. Really liked how they played it in the last game. And then Omni Knight. So at least this time when they get to Omni Knight, I'm not looking at a Rubik Warlock.
Right.
That to me is already a much better combination of heroes as an opener because Omni is great against Doom. You get the heal, you get to put extra regen on them if you want to, and then you have the GA just in case a team wants to commit on top of the Doom because that's typically how things will start off. Right. One hero will get doomed, and then the rest of the team runs in and tries to like fight while that guy can't use buttons.
Enchantress.
So. Ooh, Enchantress. This is going to be a little bit interesting. Now, hang in there with me for a second, Andy. Okay. I was looking at pub games recently, and I was looking at people that are playing. Right before all this started, Arteezy was in a pub, and he was playing Nature's Prophet. And I happened to click on his profile, and I saw Arteezy has achieved silver tier for Enchantress.
Yeah, I saw him playing it too.
What is it? What's the haps with that? Is this possibly something that they could go for?
It's not completely out of the question. Your hero's still very fast. I would say that her laning phase it's different. It's not necessarily worse. Obviously, you can still get auto attack and stuff because they swapped Impetus with Untouchable again. But you do a lot more damage in the laning phase. I would say that you probably carry items better than you used to, just because Untouchable now goes through BKB.
Right.
So any right-click oriented core is going to have a much harder time dealing with you during the mid games, like we talked about. The Drow Ranger, for example, something that I think would have a really hard time killing Enchantress if it was going to end up being like that one position. The Aghanims is kind of fun. I don't know how good it is per se. Yeah, I haven't seen it that often. It's usually like, the Hurricane Pike, the mobility items, BKBs, right, things like that. But the one big downfall is the Impetus, obviously not going through BKB anymore. Mm-hmm. So that part of it is just worse. But I think as a whole, the hero is actually pretty playable.
Okay.
And I think in this particular game right now, we're probably a bit. They do ban Bloodseeker and Bat. Those heroes are both great against Enchantress. Maybe they are looking at it as more of a one. We'll have to see.
Yeah. I'm really curious because I saw that and I was wondering if it was just something where like he happened to not get position 1s or if it was him playing Enchantress position 1 a lot or what it was actually going to end up being. Already showing a penchant for playing a little bit less traditional position 1 heroes, although they have been seen a little bit more recently. The Doom, the Disruptor, Omni Knight. How much do you feel like Navi lose by virtue of not having that tiny?
He definitely did a lot in the last game, but they banned it themselves. So they obviously have another hero in mind, I guess, for
Right.
Zayak to, make him able to do what he was able to do on the map. But it was, in my opinion, really important because in the early game he made like 4 or 5 successful rotations in a row.
Hmm.
And whenever you have an early game like that, it just kind of solidifies your laning phase. And as soon as your lanes are going well, that type of lineup to me that Navi had last game with the Viper, the Drow, the Pit Lord, it kind of just plays itself.
Okay.
It's very straightforward. You just hit your creeps. If they try to walk into you, you fight them, and all's well in the world. Okay, we're getting to Rubik.
This is scary.
Um,
I'm getting flashbacks to
we're,
game
we're
one.
walking a fine line here, Navi. We've done this before. Let's try to learn from our mistakes, and after the third pick some heroes that can actually go in. What I would actually love to see is a Storm for
Oh,
Navi. I really like Storm against these heroes. Just
10 seconds
really good
remaining.
at applying pressure. You get the Omni Knight spells cast on you and
5
stuff. It
seconds
adds a lot of
remaining.
burst damage. It also provides vision for the disruptor to get glimpses and things like that. Another hero we could be looking at in the same vein as like a Tinker type hero, where it really makes use of Thunderstrike vision and stuff like that. So I want to see Navi pick some core that actually utilizes the Omni Knight. Because last time they picked this hero, they didn't do that, and it just made them suffer.
well, we're waiting now for EG's third pick. Not a ton has been revealed, as there's obviously a lot of ways that you could
Oh
play
my
against
god, pick
different
Storm.
heroes.
Just pick Storm. It's such a good
Evil
Storm game.
geniuses turn to pick
Oh.
Okay, Naga Siren. That's also good. Can't hate on that one.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Like, there's the sort of other idea of just like, Doom. As long as you don't get doomed on Naga Siren, you're going to be pretty okay with it. You can get your illusions enchanted still, if I'm not mistaken, which
Yeah,
is
you can.
kind of frustrating. But we'll
It's
see.
only one though. It's not like it's annoying, but it's not like a make or break type of
5
situation for that
seconds
hero.
remaining.
Right.
This is it's a nice pick. Obviously, you can still counter it. They can go back for like the mag again if they want. They could do like a Lesh. They can do an OD. There are a couple of options here for EG if they just want to go for like a direct counter to the Naga Siren. Let's see what else. There's something else I'm not thinking of. I'm sure. Um, it's always hard when you don't have the hero list in front of you.
Right.
The drafters have it easy, man. They get to see all the heroes, so they go, "Oh, that one looks good," and they can just pick it.
Just quit out of the
Um,
thing for a second. Go into the heroes tab.
Look, I don't need your logic here, okay? I'm trying to paint a narrative
I'm with you.
of a struggling commentator.
Navi's
I'm
turn
sorry
to
that I
ban.
broke that. Oh,
The
Snapple!
Meepo, of course, Abed. Yep, I knew I
Oh,
was forgetting about something.
God. Well, I actually now I even like the Enchantress as position one even more. If you're playing a super fast tempo game, let's go. Get a Helm of the Dominator and let's roll. Start doing like all the extra little bits of damage. Battle it out.
10 seconds
I'm ready.
remaining.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate it. I am kind of leaning more towards a 3, just because of the way that
5
EG likes to
seconds
draft. They
remaining.
typically save Arteezy's hero for last pick every game.
Right.
So just the way they prioritize him, I feel like it might not be a 1.
How worried are you right now about the Naga Siren getting out of control though? Is that at all a concern for you? Do you think Meepo addresses that?
I think Meepo just crushes Naga at
Okay.
like all stages of the game. Like the Meepo has to have a horrible game in order for it to not be effective against the Naga Siren. So there needs to be a hero that Navi are gonna put, in the mid lane that somehow just completely demolishes a Meepo, which I'm not even sure can be done because he just hits level 3 and he disappears. And I wouldn't say that Navi necessarily have the heroes to punish him right now. Let's see.
I mean, the other thing is Navi
Oh, they
banned out the
could
Timbersaw
Evil
themselves.
geniuses
they could
turn
they could
to
SF
ban.
here, Navi.
Ooh.
Yeah, I like SF against Meeple a lot. Actually, EG might even just ban it. It depends on what they're really scared of. But a Shadow Fiend against Meepo now is crazy good because before you got the damage reduction on the Requiem, but now you get the fear, and the fear sets up a free double raise, and then you just glimpse back one of the Meepos and he just dies. And they don't have any save.
10 seconds
So we'll see what the ban
remaining.
is. I wonder what EG are prioritizing here. But if I like I play mid a lot, so
5
if I'm
seconds
playing mid this game,
remaining.
I'm asking for like SF.
Well, and that's one of those things where Abed obviously a really good Meepo player, but it's something that you need to sort of be prepping against constantly. It's a new way that you have to play against the Shadow Fiend.
Evil
I
geniuses
think that
turn to
that's
everybody
fair.
in the
ban.
Okay.
world has at least at this point heard or the tale of or seen the terror that is Abed Meepo.
Oh, he's real good at it. Like you see that once and you go, "Yep, that guy can play Meepo."
Unless you're Kyle, and then you don't ban it twice.
You know, you gotta love the guy. Anyone who has that strong of convictions is worthy of admiration. That's all I'll say.
That's true.
All
Five
right,
What
so
a-
Huskar Ben, obviously good against Meepo in the lane. The inner fire is great. AoE disarm stops you from getting the heal from your passive. It is definitely another hero that's good against Meepo. I am a little surprised that they're more scared of Huskar than Shadow Fiend, just because I feel like Shadow Fiend also adds another dimension of like team fight to their lineup, which Huskar is more of just like the um, actually, I think they just don't think they can kill Huskar. I think that's the thing. I don't think their lineup is actually capable of killing a Huskar. And it is going to be the Gyrocopter last pick. So it is more of a one position Meepo, as a Gyro is more fight oriented. Obviously, good AoE against the Naga, and a hero that just kind of he poops out damage. That's what he does.
It's a scary poop. I don't like that one at all. Man, the Huskar too, the AoE
10
disarm
seconds
on
remaining.
Meepo is another one that like is so frustrating to play against.
5
Because then,
seconds
you
remaining.
just don't have your life steal anymore and you just got to sit there. So last pick now for Na'Vi. Are they going to go for the Shadow Fiend? Do they
I
see
would like to
something
see it.
else?
They could still do something like a Storm. I think Storm plays really well in this type of lineup where you have Naga, because Naga wants to eat all the creeps. That's the one downside to SF with this lineup, is that Naga and SF both just munch the jungle. Like they want a lot of creeps, both of them. And that is sometimes considered very bad, because you just want one hero to play active if the other one wants to occupy a large part of the map, and the other guy just plays for him. Oh, they're going to go
Now
Lich.
select
Okay.
your heroes.
Okay.
They're going to go Lich themselves. So it's kind of a hybrid between the two. He definitely can farm very quickly if he wants to, but he's also good at tower pressure. And it's still pretty darn good against Meepo. I would say it's maybe not on the same tier as like the Huskar or the SF, but it's definitely playable.
Yeah, and it solves maybe some of those other issues that you might have had about like the jungling, where you can maybe go like, I don't know what you go necessarily in Lesh. I liked the bots build for a while, but I feel like that's a little bit weird out of the mid lane. You need something to like keep yourself alive too. We'll see
Yeah,
how it
he
goes.
may. There's a lot of builds you can do now, mainly because of the change to Bloodstone requiring a Kaya. It makes it feel really nice on Leshrac now, because you go Kaya into another item that gives you like mana regen, and Spell Amp feels great on a hero that just has that much AoE. And then on top of that, you could also go for like the Yule's build. I don't know if he's going to go bots, just because he does have a Naga, and Crystallize is going to be occupying at least like a lane and a half at all times. If you're playing Naga properly, you're going to be hitting that many creeps. So I think that they want him to be more proactive, and because of how much damage Leshrac can do in the early game, and this is also something else that might be like lesser known knowledge by a lot of people, but you really don't want to ever Doom Lesh, because Leshrac casts 2 spells, his Edict and his Pulse Nova, and if you Doom him after those spells are going, he still does the majority of his damage before he dies.
Yeah.
So that's a hero that, in my opinion, is really good playing into Doom. And the same reason why I also like Shadow Fiend, because most Shadow Fiends now just go to right click, and even if you get Doomed, you just beat on people and it's fine. So yeah, I'm liking the Lesh. I'm a fan. Haven't seen it too much lately, but I think it's good this game.
Well, and I think the other thing that sort of does worry me a little bit about it, I would say though, is like oftentimes when people talk about dealing with Meepo, it's like single target damage or AoE control, or the both of them
Right.
together. And I kind of wonder, like, because normally if you're going mid, is it still the build where you go like maxed out Diabolic Edict early to take towers, or does that, because it feels like that doesn't do as much against Meepo?
Well, it definitely doesn't kill him.
Right.
Like, because if he has 2 or 3, he hits level 10, he gets his 3rd Meepo, it's not really going to do much at all.
Mhm.
I guess we'll get a chance to see what Magical's approach is. I personally think the Edict build is really only good if you can force the other hero out of the lane.
Okay.
And I think that Meepo has the tendency to just destroy the creep wave instantly and then leave.
30
So
seconds to battle.
I'm not sure if Edict is the play unless he plans on being very active. So what you can do is you can, once you hit 7 or whatever, if you go for like the 2-4-0, you can kill the wave and then rotate. And then if you get those kills in another lane, then you just take that tower instead. Like you try to just, you won't take the mid tower necessarily unless you kill the Meepo. But you can definitely take the other tier ones. It just depends on how Navi want to move around the map.
Okay. Well, we'll have to wait and see.
The battle
Already
begins.
early on here, Ramsey's going to take some punishment from the Naga Siren Illusions. 0, well, 1 armor on Doom. Not really feeling that great going against all those little pesky right clicks. But yeah, Naga Disruptor, a classic combo that we've seen time and again in terms of just big AoE control in these fights. But it feels like right now EG very comfortable with the draft they got. I want to see what this Enchantress does, though. This is going to be an interesting lane. It's the same build that I've seen a lot of times on a IO with the headdress, Tango, and a little magic stick there, buildings, beginnings of it at least.
Yeah, he went for the enchant too, which means he wants that creep. He just wants to help Ramses get his levels and stuff. I mean, in this lane, they can definitely kill a Disruptor. Killing a Naga is going to be a bit tough. And then top Pasha. Ooh, is career? Yeah, he is. Oh god, is he dead too? Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, they went missile first. I guess just not anticipating that gets caught out by it. But in the meantime, Zayat will be able to pull the creep wave back behind the tower, so that eases things up a little bit. Although Pasha is going to take some more damage here. Not quite level 2 on Arteezy yet, but
He's
the
dead.
right-click damage, yeah, he's just going to get pummeled down. First blood, drawn by the gyro.
Where was the... Oh, he was pulling the creeps. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that one's on Pasha then. If he knew that his support was pulling creeps like that, then that's on him.
So far, so good mid. Magical 11-2 versus the 6-0.
Bro, he is owning this
What
series.
the hell?
This guy ate his Wheaties or something. He's like... He's going
Oh,
ham.
my guy's going to get the deny. Oh, what a play. Dude, Abed's getting worked. I mean, it's Meepo, so, you know, this thing happens, I guess. It's going to help out once he gets his next one.
That's the one thing, like when you don't have the overall last pick, a lot of the time what teams will do is they'll just pick some hero that's really good for the draft, or they'll pick a hero that doesn't necessarily care if it loses the lane. You know, it'll just retreat to the jungle, it'll hit its creeps, and then it'll come back, you know, more powerful than ever, kind of like what Magnus did. Even though they lost that game, he was still the most farmed hero. He still, in my opinion, probably did the most of anyone in the game. So.
Too bad.
Tries to get that block off there, but, or rather the pull, but not going to make it happen. Zayats, as they will get the deny on the range creep. Not bad. Up top side and messing with the last hitting potential, although that Fade Bolt didn't connect onto the gyrocopter. I'm sure is a little bit frustrating. Speaking of frustrating, Abed spamming chat lines. What a guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's level 4. He's feeling all right. Like, he's caught up in terms of CS, so right now the only real lead that Magical has is just the denies. And Meepo is pretty much the fastest jungler, so he's not gonna feel too bad about it. He's also holding his skill point here, not sure if he wants to wait to see if Magical overcommits to the net and maybe like a TP from the Lich, because they can kill the Lich. Lich has not the best HP, so if he gets, you know, overzealous, tries to go for a dive or anything like that, he could get very easily punished with a skill point into net.
The Fairy Fire, after he sees that Magical uses the stun, just going to TP out in front of him and then can get the jump back in with the poof afterwards. Haven't seen that much from Crit so far in this game. Does not have any more regen left. But is just going to try and maybe spam out some more of those impetus if he gets a shot.
Yeah, has he got his courier coming? No, that's not his. That's Ramsey's courier. Maybe he can bum some regen, or maybe just gonna give him the EXP.
Yo,
Yeah,
is
looks
this
like...
the scout? They're like sending Zayats into
He's
the
blocking
jungle.
the camp. Yeah, he's blocking the camp. It's a little bit weird that he just let the Meepo get the rune, but I suppose you can't block the camp and get the rune at the same time, so you're picking one or the other.
Cool idea. A little miss on the clap there from Crit. As Rubik is very fast already with these boots online. And Abed says, all right, you block that camp, I'm going to head off to the other side of the jungle. This does leave the Omni Knight alone, but it feels like Pasha is doing okay now. After that early little bit of a rough start.
He needs to be a little bit careful because they do have, not flat cannon, they have, yeah, barrage, that's what I meant to say. So the damage output is there.
Well, Heavenly Grace has that status resistance trying to live, but actually, Barrage switches over to the creeps at the end there. That means they cannot find the kill. Nice little play, and does look like now
Radiant's middle
runes
tower is
trade
under
off.
attack.
Navi able to pick up 3 of them.
It's a really good rotation from the Lesh. PTP's full well knowing that EG just expended a lot of resources trying to kill Pasha, so that there's basically no way they could have contested the top bounty. Like,
Right.
absolutely not. So him just TPing there like that, it secures them the 2 top bounties because neither one of those heroes can go there. And luckily enough for them, they were also able to get one of the bottom ones. So nice little movement there. Stuff like that adds up, you know, over time. Whenever your mid player makes a nice rotation like that.
Yeah.
He's even going to get his bottle refill here from Pasha, so he's feeling good.
Misses out on a couple of creeps
Radiant's
mid, but really not the end of the world at all. Crit manages to snipe that courier, level 3 right now, 2 up in the enchant. He wants to get another creep soon, but just used the Heartbeat Stormcrafter to spam out as much as he could onto that Disruptor, who is relatively low now. He'll throw it in the kinetic field to stay alive for the moment. The tower shot switch over to Ramsey, and he is in a little bit of trouble as Crystallize keeps chasing, but they are not going to be able to have any mana for Glimpse or anything like that to turn it back around again.
Yeah, he got the tower de-aggro on the first try, so if he had gotten, you know, hit by the tower even 1 or 2 more times, we could have potentially seen a turnaround kill there, but nicely played, applying pressure, not giving away the kill. And the nice thing about Doom is, as long as you have a Devour going and stuff, you're going to get all your health back.
1,000 gold lead right now for EG, with Meepo, after getting those denies in his face early on, is definitely catching back up by virtue of the jungle and just being in lane at the same time. Going for, I thought that was the Meepo build, but that was actually the Leshrac who stacked up some stuff. Crit gets the Stomp and Magical, trying to chase him down. Does need to be a little bit careful on Crit. One of the few heroes that can actually burst through the Enchantress, but she is quick enough that he does not manage to find that. He's going to get stomped also, because why not?
Yeah, this is really good, though. Like, people will oftentimes look at plays like this and be like, well, Crit's just kind of wasting his time. But the reality is, he's wasting the mid player of the enemy team's time as well.
Right.
And that guy's time is much more valuable than yours. So whenever you can make him chase you for like 30 seconds or whatever, that's like 2 creep camps that he just can't kill him. And he's still getting hit by the Centaur. Like, this is insanely annoying for a mid player.
Definitely. Do get the Keen Optic onto Lesh, which is a pretty nifty one. Mana regen, some cast range. You might pass that one over to Zayat. We'll see how it goes. But Frit still just galloping around. Now teaming up together with the Doom. They could try and put some pressure onto this tower with the next creep camp spawning, as Navi is kind of playing a little bit more passively, I would say, in this game, it feels like.
Well, they do have to kind of wait a little bit. Like, if their Leshrac isn't ready to attend fights, they don't really have a whole lot in the way of damage. Like, they have an Omni Knight and they have a Naga. Like, neither one of these heroes really offer a lot of DPSs. Pasha's just gonna die here top again. But yeah, they kind of need the Lesh to kill anyone.
Yeah.
Radiant's bottom tower
Picks
is
up
under
the Arcane
attack.
Ring for himself. Gonna try and clear through these creep camps, so he is gonna get super farmed pretty quick. And
He
does
is
look
going
like
for
it's
bots.
bots.
Yeah, I don't know if I like this, honestly. Like, I get that having bots on Lesh is like a super feel-good item because it means you never have to worry about mana. So what you do is you just like push a lane, you know, use your TP scroll to get back to base, bot back to a lane, you know, you keep playing the map over and over and over again. But I guess if your team really does need you that much, then bots could serve as another way of getting into fights. Because then you can be wherever you need to be, like, immediately, right?
Yeah.
So from that perspective, I kind of like it. I just hope that it doesn't devolve into that thing where he's only playing side lanes, because that would just directly take away from his own Naga's farm. And Crystallize needs items if they want to win this game. So depending on how he uses it, I would say, will decide whether or not if it's useful.
Yeah, and I think that right now you're seeing that like acceleration towards that next item, I guess would be the hope, probably, as he did just clear another big creep camp there, stacked up 3 times. Now trying to set up on the top lane, but has to be careful. Ramses is right over there. Feels like they have an inkling that this is going on, and Navi, we'll see if they stick around. Trying to get this camp pull off here. Battling for the top outpost. I mean, EG definitely have the bottom one, but I don't know if Abed and Ramsey's will be able to do anything to stop this. Ramsey's moves into position, and
Dire's
it looks like they're just
middle
going to get
tower is
both.
under attack.
This is odd, actually. Okay, they're going to TP the Disruptor in now. See if they try to go for a fight.
Trying to kill off the courier, not going to happen.
Gotcha.
Well, really, I mean, I guess that's a testament to the state of the game for Na'Vi right now, right? You just can't take a fight, it feels like.
Yeah, they didn't have Static Storm. Their Naga doesn't even have Song skilled, and I don't think that Crystallize really wants to be attending fights at the moment. It's just going to take a little bit of time for their lineup to get off the ground. The question is, how much can EG get off of the map in that time? Because, Abed's playing his signature Meepo, and this is it's a game where all three of the cores of EG are just farming. They are all three top net worth, so it's scary.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Looking really, really good for
Dire's
EG,
middle
and
tower
a
is
lot
under attack.
to carry on the back of this magical Leshrac, who has just finished off his Boots of Travel now, as they keep on stacking up the camp. EG's farming, but so too is Magical. Naga trying to get towards that first item, as she is going to be going for the Manta first. No early Diffusal Blades here, as EG take the other Tier 1 tower. Only the mid-Tier 1 remains, but it's a bit of a smoke gank now. Disruptor and the Leshrac trying to find this Meepo jungling. This could be a big pick for them if they can get there in time.
They'll kill him, but I'm kind of curious as to what their follow-up is after they kill that hero, because they just lost to Tier 1, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to kill this Meepo, and then what? There's no points. Well, I guess he does have Edict now, but if they kill him, because of where EG are on the map and the fact that none of them really had to use a TP to get here, they'll be able to defend the Tier 1 for sure.
Yeah.
Like, they can just TP there, and then, these heroes are going to have to back. So this is just a kill for the sake of getting a kill, which is it's good against Meepo in particular, because he does farm so fast. But it's also very likely to get punished if they don't do it very quickly and leave. And even, that being said, they don't even care. They just kill a tower instead.
Oh no, this is the cool way to do it. I like this play. Yeah, and they ping. They know what's going on.
I like that a lot more than going for the Meepo kill, to be honest.
Okay, sick. So that's the solution. Just smoke up and then sneak the tower.
Yeah, because your Disruptor is sitting right there. So
Right.
if someone does TP, you just glimpse them immediately, or you storm them and kill them, depending on how big of a reaction EG want to put towards that tower. And that way you don't run the risk of being behind a Tier 1 or a Tier 2 looking for a kill that won't result in an objective. Whereas that play gives you an objective basically for free, and you made a good tower trade in a game where you're behind. So that's like the best of a bad situation.
Gets himself another Centaur here, as EG continue to just clamp down the screws on this map. Tier 1 tower still standing in the mid lane. We got 3 heroes up on the high ground, ready to jump if anybody shows up. They do have the Lesh back here, maybe trying to bait it out, and they could think about it. Do they go for him? Wondering if they could bait of Doom, but no, they're not going to be able to.
Would have been cool play though if you got it.
Yeah.
You got the Doom.
So EG make that move and not able to actually even get the tower. Interesting.
Well, their siege is pretty lackluster. Like, the only way they're killing a tower is if they have Abed. And they, I believe, he's almost got U-Blade. So he's almost prepared to walk to a team fight. Then it's going to be like the Blink or the Hex or the Scotty, whatever dealer's choice, I suppose. I'm not really that big of a Meepo player, so I would normally think Blink, but maybe he wants more survivability, I'm not sure.
Well, and even each individual Meepo player, I feel like, plays such different ways. Like, I think that there's a Vietnamese Meepo player for 496 that goes like Shadowblade Manta some games, all sorts of crazy stuff. Sayat hides over in the trees here and is going to get out. And a 3,000 gold lead for EG, but another somewhat slow opening to this game, as neither team really wanting to make an aggressive move. I mean, that's the thing, right? Is that it feels like so often nowadays, if you take one bad fight in the early game, you just have to play from behind the whole rest of it. It's really easy just to throw away could even be a small lead.
It's because map control means so much in this patch. Like, the loss of the outposts, not being able to get your jungle items at a good timing and having to wait like an extra couple of minutes to pick them up. Especially when you're working towards like the Tier 2 and the Tier 3 items, because they actually do have quite a bit of influence. If you can't control any part of the map because you lost a really bad fight, the game feels so much harder to win. Like, people a lot of people will complain about, oh, well, specific jungle items are just OP, but the reality is, if you're just controlling the game, those items are just going to be better for you no matter what, because the enemy team just simply can't get them.
Radiant's middle tower is
It's
under
a symptom
attack.
of a larger problem too, which is that you're not the one getting those
Dire's top
items.
tower is under attack.
Because like you said, you don't have that map control. All right, so trade off 1 for 1. Each team shows themselves they're not willing to give away any bad fight. And now another backup. Doom going for the BKB next. Gyrocopter also has his insight, and it feels like that's going to be the timing that they try and look for, along with what looks to be a Scotty for Abed, who just wants to tank up and get really, really buff.
Yeah, the Scotty's always solid. Just gives all the meepos a ton of HP, lots of damage. What is this Naga up to? Okay, so Crystallize almost has Manta. Like, his overall farm is not that far behind the Meepo, but the longer this keeps going on, the further ahead the Meepo's gonna get, especially if he has a lot of the map to work with. And, alright, Zayat, you're, you know, a little bit behind enemy lines here.
They got the courier kill, but
His ward's gonna die too. Yeah, this is the problem. Like, the one downside to, like, super aggressive warding by yourself as a 5 is that if you do get spotted, your ward's almost 100% gonna die. Because it's like, why else would he be here if he wasn't going to drop that ward?
dude, there have been 3 kills in 16 minutes. What the hell?
I mean,
what's happening?
We were discussing during the draft, like, the downside of them not having that tiny. And this is the downside. Just nothing's happening for them. They're getting farmed. It's not like they're getting totally choked out of the map, but EG are, you know, slowly but surely getting ahead in terms of net worth. So eventually there's going to come a tipping point where EG are going to be able to fight, and Navi might not be ready.
I mean, they certainly won't be if they don't get those items online to deal with the BKBs, and I don't even know what that is necessarily, right? Like, I guess maybe you try and find like a song and blow up the supports, or blow up the people that are still BKB'd or something. Let's see what
I don't
it
think
is.
you can. Like, normally when you song to, like, counter a BKB, you need a right clicker on your team.
Right.
Who on Navi right clicks?
Yeah.
Like, even the Naga needs Riptide to really deal damage.
Yeah, it's true. No defusal yet. Does have that Manta, but this play, the 16-minute Roche, it's feeling spooky. Pasha, oh no, what you doing, my dude? Dude gets stomped, chased down. The body blocks are out afterwards. And, well, just like that, the song to try and get away. Okay, maybe a chance, a really big static storm, but is there going to be enough follow-up? I'm not sure if they're quite going to have it. They pop the GA as well on top of it, trying to burn through Arteezy. They will find that kill, but Abed is so tanky. This is a hero that feels like an impossibility to kill, although Zayats has moved in now as well. They managed to get the Doom off, but that's onto the Lesh, who's already popped his ultimate. He's dealing a ton of damage to all these heroes, wants to run down that one very low Abed Meepo, but he's gonna get the poof away. No, not quite. They get the kill. Able to take him down, and now we'll follow up as Zayat tries to run and see if he can kill off Crit. Magical is super low. He needs to get away from that Enchantress, unless he just wants to try and chase her down. Doesn't have that much mana. The catch is gonna be there with the first split, and now the final finish as EG lose 5. What a bait.
It was the classic walk uphill into a shrine. You hate to see it, you know? It happens to the best of us. The Meepo thought he was far enough ahead to where it really didn't matter if he got hit by everything, but you know, EG do that one more time and we got a game on our hands, because that's the type of fight where you're fighting on a location where the enemy team can immediately buy back and TP, and that's exactly what, you know, Ilias did. He just said, you know what, you're gonna fight on my shrine. I'm just gonna buy back after my static storm, which was great, by the way. Really nice setup by Crystallize, hitting 3 heroes, including a couple of Meepos as well.
Where are you going?
That was probably about the best fight Navi we're gonna get.
Well, and it does sort of make things a little bit scary now, because you don't have Song for the Roche fight that's about to start up. This is a little bit spooky. They do have Static Storm down potential if they want to go in for it. They're going to send in those illusions. Ramsey's trying to be that person up front and center. They drop down the Static Storm. Roche's gained very low. They're trying to take this one down. Magical right into it. Feared, caught, possibly going to get killed. They get a big split earth, but already they've gotten that Aegis. Magical slowed down and going to be killed. Now the rest of Navi, they've stuck around a bit too long. Chain Frost bounces between the illusions and the Omni Knight. and they manage to get the kill. Just like that, EG pull it back.
Yeah, honestly, I feel they should not have even tried to fight that.
Yeah.
Just because, like you said, not having the GA, not having the song, it was kind of like, and even looking at the vision, like EG had the obs and the sentry down in the pit. They did have a sentry on the side of Na'Vi, but they really couldn't see that much. So there was like a blind static storm with no follow up, and it's like that's just a symptom I feel of a not good play. Ramsey's going on Crystallize here. Pop, it's doomed.
Get him. Caught. No way away, although they are trying to back him up now. The rest of the heroes moving into position. Omni Knight is there, has the Purification, the Heavenly Grace afterwards slow down. He gets the GA off, and now the turnaround coming yet again is Magical. Has his eyes on this Doom, needs to be careful about a Chain Frost. The pullback in comes, and now Abed showed up. That man still has the Aegis. Not a whole heck of a lot of mana on Magical, and they're just gonna TP out. Wait, no, they left him!
Oh my god, if he died there, dude. I would have been so sad.
I can't believe they didn't get the net.
I don't think he was expecting the Naga to just walk away. That's one of those things where you're like, oh god, what? And then you just like try to net and,
I mean, I think it's the right play too, though, because Naga didn't have her TP ready at that point. And
Yeah,
then she
yeah,
dies right there. It's terrible.
Yeah, he had to run. That was cutting it close, though. My goodness.
Wow. All right, 20 minutes. It does feel like we have a game, but this looming specter of the Meepo that's level 17, and man, some of these later talents, you look at it, the lifesteal, the 400 health, this hero becomes even more of a monster.
It does get kind of scary. There is a point, though, where things like Static Storm and the Ledge having a BKB are going to be enough to kind of like deal with the Meepo, especially when they have GA. So a lot of the time, what will happen is, even if you Static Storm the Meepo when he can't poof, if he's really far ahead, he'll just right-click you to death, and then he'll just heal through all the damage with Ransack, which is like 18, healing per hit, and you're hitting with all your Meepos. It ends up being a lot of sustain. But because they have GA, if they use it correctly, and they can keep the Lesh alive until he's like, at least lower out of mana, they should have enough damage to kill him. And as long as they don't fight into the Aegis and like feed away a lot, I think that Na'Vi are still very much in the game. It's just gonna be a scary like 5 to 10 minutes for them.
Well, yeah, you see this like win probability. There's this huge upswing, and then that fight around the Roche pit where they decided to contest it dropped off quite heavily, and now just a little bit into the favor of EG. Obviously, that doesn't tell the whole story of the game, but you can see the net worth, the experience. It's all swinging that direction. These next couple minutes are going to be pivotal. How much can they get done with that Aegis? Still a minute and a half remain as Meepo is about to finish off his Scotty now. He leaves one Meepo behind up top here. And it's not like there's an easy way to burst him either. Like maybe catching him out of position, but even that, like you need Magical, you need the extra bit of control you get with the Disruptor.
Yeah, honestly, this game is actually quite close. I think with like even inventories, I would probably favor the team with the Naga. Just because her teamfight utility is better. She has very, very high single target damage output too, especially if you get like all the clones on someone with the Riptides going and the Diffusal Blade. But they do need to defend their tier 3. Probably wouldn't just let this Rax die.
This is scary. Arteezy's in the back, ready to jump. They have Magical up front and center. Not a whole heck of a lot of control, though, as they're starting to bring him down. Still 50 seconds left on this Aegis, and Magical finds the stun, but he's in some trouble. Has to back away. They do get the lift back now onto the Doom, as Magical's going to head back to try and regen his mana fully, as Abed's ready to continue this push. Still sitting there with the Aegis. They have the Split Earth again. The Glimpse back pulls onto the Doom with the Kinetic Field catching this Abed Meepo. They want to try and bring him down, but throwing the nets from afar keeps him alive for now. Ramsey's still controlled for the moment. They turn now onto Pasha, forced to pop that GA. Does not have that much damage. The impetus shot's coming through as well, dealing a good bit to the Omni Knight, who is eventually going to go down. So they can't really chase this one super effectively. They want to try and find Ramsey's. They get the glimpse back again onto Abed. And Magical now seeing if they can burst through this. Just 2 seconds left. But as it expires, it looks like EG are going to get away scot-free.
Yeah, they did get a tier 3 and almost a range Rax. The range Rax top actually has 1 health. It just has 1 HP. So I guess Crystallized didn't really want to fight into the Aegis and just thought that his team, would be able to hold for a while. And they did kind of stall it out. They lost 1 Rax, but I mean, 1 melee at 24 minutes isn't an enormous deal.
Right.
The bigger problem is that they're going to lose their Shrine. Like, I actually care more about the Shrine in a game like this than I do about having bottom Rax, mainly because the next Roche is pretty much going to decide the game. Like, if EG get it and nothing happens between right now and the next Roshan spawn, then this game is probably just going to be over for Navi. So something needs to happen on the map.
Well, and I guess the other thing that you could look at here is, like, if Navi are somehow able to push out across the map and steal that shrine away from EG, that could even things up a little bit here as well. Definitely something to watch for. And Disruptor, I did see a Philosopher's Stone on him, so he's trying to get into that Aghanim Scepter, which can make all the difference in the world. And another thing that makes all the difference in the world, Repair Kit on Navi. Save the day.
It could be enough to stall a push. I mean, that's one of the most powerful jungle items, by the way. Just like, it's insanely good. Every time someone walks up to a tower and they say Repair Kit, I don't know about you, but I immediately go, "Yep, I'm leaving. Just get me out. I don't want this." If it didn't multi-shot, it would probably be a bit more reasonable.
Yeah.
Because it just destroys your creep waves on top of healing. It's just, it's a tough one to deal with.
Well, and you can see the strength of Naga Siren right now trying to push out these side lanes while the pressure's coming on the other side of the map. So they lose their tier 2, Navi do. EG able to take that one up top, while Navi are pushing down on the bottom side. You can see that EG just playing around this side of the map. Not only do they not want to give up the high ground on Navi's side of the river, but they're not giving up that shrine of their own either.
Yeah, they understand the importance of maintaining the shrine for the next Roshan.
Yeah.
Anytime you have a Meepo or a Huskar or a TA, like, Aegis timings are very important because the heroes need to be playing from ahead. Like, all of those heroes have like farm accelerants, or they play the lane very well and get ahead based by being able to just like crush their opponent. And then you want to keep that advantage by getting Roshan and then using that Aegis to get Rax. That's like kind of how you play the heroes, because in the late game, they kind of fall off. Like, Meepo becomes this hero that's still very tanky but doesn't really do enough damage. You get saving items out like Force Staffs and things like that, and then the chain nets don't really matter as much, and TA is kind of the same. So eventually, like, the Meepo does start to become a little bit weaker in regards to like other heroes like Naga and like the Leshrac.
Right.
But we're not quite there yet. Needs more time.
Navi playing for time, EG playing for Roche. And it's a middle of the road spawn, 1.5 minutes away. We saw also there Meepo trying to stack up Scotties. So has a second one in the works while Naga Siren finishes her own. So Crystallize opting for the tank up route.
Yeah, Abed knows he's going to be the target of a lot of spells this game. Like, he's going to eat every static storm. It's just going to happen by nature of like how the lineups play. He's going to be standing in front with his Doom, and then, if he's hitting a building, he's eating every spell.
8,000 gold lead for EG as they're farming more efficiently around the map, but in the middle lane, they find themselves one. Shiva's Guard already out. Magical pops the BKB, trying to blow up Ramses, but with his own BKB, they're not going to be able to make that happen. Now Arteezy in a little bit of trouble. He has his BKB,
Arteezy?
but doesn't want to use it, and now Song of the Siren follow-up. This is really bad for EG as they've already lost their carry. He does not have any form of buyback. They're going to bring in the rest of the meatballs, but the ginormous stun comes out, and they're getting eviscerated here. So much damage to E-Blade, trying to keep him alive, just barely. Is it going to be enough, though? Abed dropping low and going to fall. Crit trying to keep his buddy alive as Ramses is also just barely walking away. Crystallized down so freaking low. The impetus shot is going to be able to take him out. Now Zayat also going down. The tail of the two supports from EG, trying their best to salvage this disaster of a fight. As they lost Arturo right at the stop and the miss uphill. They're going to be able to make it happen. Ilias walks away. This is a real freaking embarrassment indeed. As Zayat is backing out, Fly trying to make it happen. The Frost Armor keeping himself alive. They're even throwing out the little Hadoukens from the Satyr Tormentor. And unreal.
There were so many oofs in that team fight, I can't even list them all. It was actually insane. The Meepo poofed in to the Static Storm, like all of his Meepos. The Leshrac turned his Pulse Nova off before he got doomed, so he didn't get like the few extra ticks that it would have taken. I mean, I guess he was low on mana,
Right.
but he probably would have killed the Meepo a lot faster if he had gotten that one off. Arteezy just didn't BKB.
Yeah.
Like, that's if he BKB there, EG crushed them. Like, not even a question. They just destroy that fight. Fortunately, the timing is going to work out in a way where they're going to be able to walk right back to the Roche pit, and GA is going to be down, and so is Song for 20 seconds. So this is still going to end up being an EG favored move, just simply because they, again, have their shrine, and Navi doesn't, so it's going to take him a bit longer to get back into position. That means that EG will end up getting the Roshan. No contest coming out from Navi, but that's just because of the moves they made earlier in the game. So their decisions earlier are carrying them after they did some very questionable stuff right there.
Was that just the second Roche? I thought it was the third.
No, it was the second.
Okay. Well,
Fleet feet.
so far, EG now up 8,000 gold. I mean, and I guess that's the thing, is that at that point, EG are like, all right, if they use everything on us, fine, whatever. We'll take the fight, and then we'll be able to get Aegis, which maybe is more important. But it does mean that now we're in a position where Navi have to hold out again. But Naga, stronger, they've got the repair kit, they've got ways to stop this push, it feels like. EG need to come up with some answers.
Well, they are getting a little bit further ahead just by, nature again of killing the shrine earlier. And the idea of taking the fight is correct from EG. Like the overall game plan means more right now than how they executed the fight. I think that's what we can take away from it. Like their idea was great, execution, and then it worked out into another Aegis, which is hopefully going to result for them at least in another Rax.
You know, the other thing that they stole, I didn't realize, Zayat has Frost Shield now. So this tower
push... Yeah, he
push...
stole it in the last fight when they were doing that little, Benny Hill stuff around where the Dire Ward is right now.
All right, repair kit, glyph, available for them as well. All of the missiles and the Frost Shield going. They're trying to keep this alive. And it looks like they're going to be able to find the pullback.
The Creepway is dead.
Onto the Doom. He's rooted. They got another round if they want to go for it. The Frost Shield comes out. They still can't kill this thing off quite yet. But Doom is dropping. Ramsey's forced to pop the BKB and walk away, and they can't take the tower. It's too much hold. And they pull him back in. That's Meepo again isolated, down relatively low. The Static Storm not enough to kill him off. With that repair kit still working, they're going to pull it back in. The tower feels like it's dealt the most damage in this fight so far, as now they're going to take some more right clicks coming in from it. But they hold on.
This repair kit's actually carrying them. It's actually saving their game. If they didn't have this item, they would actually get Raxed here like 10 times out of 10.
He used 2 of them throughout the duration of that.
Yeah, that's actually the only neutral item or only item, I should say, that could have saved them there.
Yeah. That's nuts.
Because it's not even about the fact that the tower just is super tanky. It's the fact that it killed the wave. Like, it kept multi-shotting, and it killed the cart. It killed everything. So then they had to back off and, go for a reset, and that gives it time to heal.
Yo, the other thing, we've got a telescope on Disruptor, but more importantly, he's 500 gold away from the Aghanims. This Philosopher's Stone paying off in this game. Now in a position to possibly make a game-winning play if they could get a nice song set up.
Yeah, the song into Static Storm is something that you're going to have to be very wary of. And it makes BKB timing really hard, right? Because you don't just want to BKB because you think the Naga is going to song.
Right.
Like, that's such a horrible feeling as a core player to see that combination of items and go, well, if I don't BKB, I'm dead. And if I BKB, I'm dead. So it's not the best. But we'll see if they're able to hold it again.
No glyph again. They pull him back in. Magical, not quite 20 for that Pulse Nova damage if they wanted to get it, but Meepo dropping low. Aegis is still going to be there, so he's coming back in a second. I think that he's going to respawn further in the back because he kept his main Meepo away from the rest, but they get the glimpse back in onto Arteezy. Does have BKB, but not feeling the need for it. Aghanims is there for Disruptor. Got to be careful. Crystallize could go in for the big song play if they want to go for the opening, but they just dropped the Static Storm down on the Gyro. No chance or possibility for him to BKB away, and now also the Doom is in trouble. The big splitters come through in a second. Can they find it? Crystallize going to be able to pop that one now. Ramsey's still there in the Doom. They're looking for the perfect setup. Can they find it? Splitter connects onto all of those meepos, bringing them low. The Doom is there, but the Leshrac, the pony, is already dealing the damage. Crit in the backline completely destroyed Leshrac, but now he is going to be left to his own devices as the rest of EG is either left or is dead, and they find another kill. Na'Vi fighting back in a beautiful way.
So, Lyrical, let me pick your brain for a second, because I want your honest opinion here.
All right, tell me. Hit me.
At what point do you see the repair kit and just go, let's just push mid?
You know, I think right away, maybe. No, if
Because
I'm
I'm
honest.
looking at it, and I'm going, okay, you got the ward set up, right? You got that really nice high ground vision where the outpost used to be for Na'Vi. You see the repair kit used. There's another tier 3. Why do you not just swap to mid and make them use another charge, right?
Yeah.
Because the only reason they held that one is because they still had one charge left. But
Yeah.
if you go from top to mid because you see they have the repair kit and you force 2 charges right away, then your next push will probably work. That's all I'm saying.
You know, the other thing is, oh, Zayat. Oh, they found the Lich again. They got him caught and do have another seal if they want to use it, or you can just keep a hold of that homing missile. Na'Vi suddenly striking on all cylinders, and they're looking
Look at
really
how much
good.
money this disruptor has all of a sudden. He just got his Ags.
He is a monster.
This guy has got, like, I don't know. His investments matured very quickly. We'll say that.
And this is going to be a problem for the rest of the game for EG. Not only just, you know, dealing with the song into the Static Storm, but just the straight up Static Storm. Like, that's what happened earlier. They just blew him up.
Yeah, I mean, that reveal of the Aghanims was the best case scenario.
Yeah.
Because you got an Ags reveal on a core, and it catches you by surprise. That's the whole point, is you don't know that the guy has the Aghanims. So you think that you're fine because you can just BKB, but then you get hit by the Storm, and there's no way you can buy back and be at that engagement. Because it's too... So that's like the best case scenario for them. They're going to find Ramses here. No Static Storm, so he should be able to just BKB and run if he needs to. Not even going to have to expend the charge.
Well,
But yeah.
is this the point now where you feel like Naga can just take over the game? Like, how
Yeah,
concerned are you
absolutely.
if you're EG?
I think that Meepo is already kind of like running out of gas. Like we saw how easily he kind of got kited there. He's got his 2 Scotties and his E-Blade. It's not like he doesn't have farm. It's just that Meepo wants to be like 1 or 2 items ahead, and they're gonna find Fly in the exact same spot again.
I've saw this
I
before.
guess. Yeah, this seems like something that we've witnessed
Uh-oh.
once or twice.
And now Ramses might have to BKB for that one. Turns around with the Doom, not able to keep the vision, or decides that he does not want to go for it anymore, as there was a Heavenly Grace on him, so on status resistance. And they actually dropped a Dragon Scale too, which we'll just pick up now.
Yeah, I
Whew.
don't think he wanted to Doom there.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see the Reddit post. Repair kit OP, please nerf.
I know,
Easy
honestly.
lose to repair kit. But in all honesty, they really should have just went mid. Like,
Or bottom.
It's
Like,
what-
finish off the other racks there.
yeah, I mean, it's easier in hindsight, and it's easier when you're watching the game. But that's
Right.
that's the one lesson to take away from this, is that if you are in that position where you're so strong that you're just controlling the map, it's a free rotation to mid. It's not like they're gonna kill you on the 2-second run it takes you to get there.
Right. Well, and I think that it's also particularly harder to do it against a disruptor, like you're saying, that like can just pull you back in. And there were multiple times where it felt like they were trying to disengage, but did not end up happening in the end, as Abed just E-Blades a creep, because, you know, got to use it for something. I also would say that the Philosopher's Stone for the disruptor made a huge difference. Like, the fact that he was able to get this Aghanims this much quicker is huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, him not having that item means that Arteezy walks away, and then who knows what happens.
And then they pull him back in again. They've got this Doom in the Static Storm. No answer at all. They've also netted Arteezy, trying to save that BKB if at all possible. He's getting brought down real freaking low. Pops the cheese, tries to live. And now the stun comes out onto Meepo. The Chain Frost bouncing between the two of them, but they get the pull back in. Another round of it. Can they kill off this hero in time? Crystallize getting brought down very low, but Magical is the big bad boss in the midst. They get the kill onto Abed, and now chasing forward for more. And again, the BKB was not able to solve the gyrocopter's problems. Fly is going to die. They're buying back, trying to hold on in this game number 1. EG do not want to drop down to the lower part of this GSL bracket. But Na'Vi are the ones that are looking large and in charge here. As if they want to, they can just back out for Roche or even just go for more here.
Yeah, there's no reason really for them to back it. They can force one more buyback. I think as soon as well, they have Song too, right? And they know that BKBs are on CD for a little while. So there's no reason for them to leave.
Well, Magical sticks around there as the Diabolic Edict continuing to run. The Naga Siren Illusions going in there and wanting to finish off this melee rack. Still 30 seconds before Meepo is back up as the Illusions and the right clicks from Lesh eventually claim it. EG searching for an answer and not finding one. Graphs are going to swing heavily the other direction.
Well, there is another Roshan available. This one's going to have the Aghanim Synth, and Na'Vi are probably going to get contested here. GA is going to be down for about 30 seconds. Meepo's going to be respawning. The Shrine is dead. If EG want to fight this, they have to move. Yeah, they immediately smoke. They can't give this one away. If this goes to Na'Vi, the game might as well just be over at this point.
Well, and Na'Vi wisely going to back out there as they do not want to try and take that fight without good vision, good understanding of what's happening. And as they see EG move out across the map, they back out, don't take that fight. Tough stuff right now.
It's a good call because Na'Vi are no longer the ones who are under pressure. Like they've taken a lot of really good fights. They use their repair kits to like hold their tier 3 or whatever, and then they take a really good engagement, get mid racks, force buyouts. They're the ones who can kind of just like sit and chill and be like, okay, we're gonna react to what EG do because EG are the ones who have to make a play now. It's no longer, we need to hold or we need to make this play to buy time. EG are the ones who are under the gun, who are like, oh god, our Meepo is not really able to kill anyone anymore. I mean, he just got chain stunned that whole fight. The GA is enough time for them to basically just kill Abed. And then after that, the fight is over. Like, if the Meepo's dead, you don't have any damage anymore, which I think is pretty much the main issue that EG are currently having, is they just don't have any damage.
Oh, God, that was sick. They send the couriers in to scout for him, and now they found themselves another Fly Magical chasing him down, while on the other side, they've got themselves another pickoff to look like Lich and Enchantress are going to be the 2 to go down. Pasha backing away. They're going to take that Chain Frost to the face. But now EG, 2 supports dead. Na'Vi are going to feel comfortable just walking right on in if they want. Man.
Yeah, this is painful for EG. Honestly, a really big misplay, not just like realizing that you can't push into the repair kit and just to walk to the other lane, Because even if you didn't successfully push there, you have to make him use it, You can't just keep hitting the same tower over and over and over again.
Yeah, totally. Well, and I guess the other thing, too, when you're looking at this is, like, I feel as if this Na'Vi team is looking better than I expected. And I had some pretty high expectations for him. Like, Magical has been playing out of his mind. I feel like Crystallize has had a really good game on this Naga Siren. Everybody's kind of played above what I was expecting from this Na'Vi lineup.
Yeah, I think Magical was the biggest, what's the word? He was impressive. Like, his TA matchup against Abed, he crushed him, solo killed him 2 times. They did end up losing that game, but I wouldn't say it was necessarily because of anything that he did, at least in the early laning phase. So, his laning has been solid. His decision-making, itemization, I kind of was questioning the bots, but they ended up working out. He was able to be in the spots that he needed to be, and he's been pretty much the one who's dealing with the Meepo, more or less. He's the guy who killed him.
Dude, Crystallize has
really nice.
Almost 8,000 gold on the Naga Siren. He is so stacked. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, he's living large.
Player. How do you feel about Telescope as an item?
Oh, it's amazing.
I love it.
It's actually incredible. Having the scan CD alone is crazy, especially in competitive games, because you go from, what is it, the 7 minute or something like that to 3.5. Like scans are really important. It helps you get picks. It helps you utilize smoke, being able to start a fight on your own terms, knowing where the enemy is. It can get you an objective, Roshan, like tons of things. And plus, like the added value of having the attack and cast range bonus.
Look at this, the slow beatdown. They're just trying to stop it, but they finally get the enchant back up. And, well, 2 more come in. Give me your range tracks. Oh, dude, that is so freaking demoralizing.
It's the Naga Siren effect.
Ugh. Dirty.
Yeah, I'm not sure what EG can really do at this point. When you're trapping your bases, these heroes, it's even worse, right? Because you're not able to really utilize any of the stuff you want. Like, Gyro can flash farm, Meepo can obviously flash farm, but you can't do that when you're stuck on your Hydra.
And Ramses, yet again, going to be the sacrificial lamb going to the wolves that is Na'Vi. As they chase forward, has the Diabolic Edict explosions as well. They disarm him. They're going to turn it back around and find the kill onto Gyrocopter. No buyback for 2 minutes. Magical all alone, but it doesn't really matter. This man has the Aegis, and now the turnaround is going to come again as they're looking for the follow-up stomp. Going to connect here onto the Meepo. Do they time it right? Magical waits for the last second, gets him caught, gets him killed. Abed has to buy back immediately into that one. Crit doing a ton of damage on this Enchantress and is going to burn through that Lesh. But again, it is looking mighty tough as Ramses is going to be brought down for another round. EG with no answers for this lineup from Na'Vi that has bit the bullet and made enough time work out for themselves as Zayat coming in for the body blacks onto Crit as they try and kill him off. But GG is called as Na'Vi going to take down Evil Geniuses in this best-of-3 series.
Yeah, it was good stuff. Na'Vi, they needed to buy time, and they did just that. The Omni Lesh combo was really potent. Like, every time they had GA, it felt like EG couldn't really kill anyone. Because the magical damage output on EG is fairly high, but once you get to a certain point in the game, 25, 35, 45 minutes, you're not bursting people anymore. That's just not how fights work. You're not going to, like, throw out a Chain Frost and a couple of poofs and expect to get, a kill or two. The heroes just have too much health. So at that point, you're relying on, like, Meepo right clicks, flat cannon, this like spread damage sort of to carry your team fights. But every time GA's up, it's all mitigated. And then by the time GA is off, your Meepo's dead. And then you go, oh, well, crap. And then your team fight kind of just falls apart. And that's more or less what happened towards the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Repair Kit definitely did work this game. I think that EG still probably could have played better against it and still ended up getting their second set of racks, which, may or may not have won in the game. I'm not quite sure.
Right.
But yeah, all the credit in the world to Na'Vi. They made it work with their lineup, and they finally picked heroes that use Omni Knight. That's sick. Very happy.
They're doing it. They're making it happen. Na'Vi is back, baby. And again, you look at like this Abed Meepo, you expect a really high performance, the least damage dealt in the game for the Abed Meepo. How often do you say that? That's insane.
Well, he ate every spell, every fight. Like,
yeah.
You can't really blame
No.
the player because every time he went in, he got Static Storm, and every time he went in, they used GA. So if you can't poof and everyone's immune to physical damage,
yeah,
how are you hurting people?
That's
like
true.
It's easy to look at this game and be like, LOL, new Meepo, Omega lol, whatever. But the reality is, it's a hard Meepo game once it gets to a certain point. Because if all the enemy team has to do is cast spells on your hero only, and you have no saves, good luck.
Totally.
As any core.
And I mean, just a testament to that fact is that he took almost more damage than the entire enemy team also. 170,000 damage. That's insane. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that all you fine folks out there enjoyed the first series that we had. Still a bunch of other games going on all the other 3 streams, so check those out if you feel so inclined. But we are going to move on next to another matchup where the boys from Brazil, Pain Gaming, are going to face off against Team Liquid. I wanted to say like Scandinavian, but you got Quakeva in there. Maybe he can be an honorary Scandinavian because he's been in that area for a while. But we'll see what ends up happening in that next series. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a bit.